All right, let's just jump right in with this quote because it really captures the moment, doesn't it? Welcome to the brand new wake-up call that is generative AI. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like, a huge, loud alarm clock telling us all that something big is here. So, that alarm's ringing. What do we do about it? Well, that's what we're digging into. This is about more than just technology. It's about regenerating how we learn, how we adapt. It's about you grabbing the steering wheel on your own learning journey. You know, let's be real for a second. The noise around AI is a lot. It can feel like this massive hurricane of hype just descended on our work, our homes, everything. And it's so easy to get lost in all that buzz, especially when you're dealing with something called artificial puffery. And that's actually a great name for all this hype. You've heard it a million times, right? AI is going to take over the world, or this new model is basically alive. It's all that marketing fluff that gets in the way of understanding what this tool actually is. Now, obviously, not everyone's hearing this wake-up call at the same volume. For some of us, it's that blaring 5 a.m. jolt that makes you jump out of bed. But for others, it's kind of like a car alarm way down the street. You can ignore it for a little while, but here's the thing. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up. Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we wake up and face the music? Well, the first step, and this might surprise you, isn't about AI at all. It's about us. We have to look inward and really understand our own ingrained habits when it comes to learning. And come on, we all have them. Those default settings for learning that we just fall back on without even thinking about it. Maybe your go-to is watching a lecture, or grabbing a textbook, or just Googling for hours. And hey, those patterns have worked for us in the past, but are they the right tools for this job? And this really gets to the heart of the huge shift we need to make. We've got to move away from being passive consumers of information, just being spoon-fed, and become active designers of our own knowledge. This idea of regenerated learning isn't about what you receive, it's all about what you do. So seriously, take a second and think about it. What's your pattern? Are you the type to wait for the perfect online course to pop up, or do you just dive right in and start messing around with things? Just knowing that about yourself, that's step one. That's how you start to reprogram your approach. All right, so once we commit to being more active learners, what does that mean for how we actually work with AI? Well, the key is to completely reframe the relationship. This is not some magic 8-ball that spits out perfect answers. Think of it more like an imperfect, creative partner. And I absolutely love this analogy. It is so perfect. You can't learn to play the piano by just reading a book about it, right? No way. You've got to actually get your fingers on the keys. And it's the exact same thing with generative AI. You have to get in there, get your hands dirty, and really feel how it works. And here's a really practical way to think about that doing part. It's this idea of a regenerative learning loop. And check out where it starts, with what you're actually interested in, not some rigid syllabus. Then you set your own goals, you practice, you apply what you've learned. But, and this is super important, look at the last 2 steps. Get feedback from other people, and then reflect. The AI is a co-pilot, not the final judge. But being an active learner isn't just about jumping in. It also means you have to be a critical one, a skeptical one. Because this technology is incredibly powerful, and with that power comes some very real risks. We have to be ready to navigate what's being called the jagged AI frontier. The big one everyone talks about, of course, is hallucinations. This is when the AI just confidently makes things up. It generates something that sounds totally plausible, totally correct, but it's completely wrong or just pure fiction. It's probably the #1 reason you can never just copy and paste without checking. And the list goes on. You've got confirmation bias, where the AI just tells you what it thinks you want to hear. You can get outputs that sound super fluent but are actually pretty shallow. Then there's the whole legal mess around copyright, copy wrong, and even something called overfitting, where the model just gets stuck in its ways. Look, understanding the limitations is just as important as knowing the capabilities. Okay, so we've got all this hype and we've got all these real risks. You might be thinking, so what now? Well, here's the good news. All of this puts you right where you need to be, in the driver's seat. You are the designer of your future with this technology. And that all starts with one word: reassess. Reassess everything it gives you. Don't just accept the first answer. Your role is to test the outputs, question the results, and act as the ultimate quality control. It's your partner, and partners aren't always right. Next up, you've got to reiterate. Working with AI is never a one-and-done deal. It's a conversation. It's a dance. You're in this constant loop of prompting, checking the results, refining your questions, and adapting your approach. You're not just giving a command, you are actively guiding the AI. And finally, and this is maybe the most important one, you have to reclaim. Reclaim your agency. Reclaim your unique voice, your creative ideas, and your authority over the final product. Yes, AI is a powerful tool, but you are the one who decides how it gets used. You are, and you should always be, the human in the loop. When you boil it all down, AI can be a powerful tool that extends our abilities. But it can also be a mirror, one that reflects our own patterns, our own biases, and our own creativity right back at us. So the real question isn't, what is AI going to do? The real question is, what will you choose to build with it?